into the half. Am I surprised? No, I'm not. I actually picked the Atlanta Falcons to lose this game this week. And you know what? I hope that I'm wrong. I hope completely wrong about the Atlanta Falcons in this game. But there we have it. I mean, a lot of folks will be quick to say it's the defense fault. I mean, it looks like that with the score being 17-3. I mean, but at the end of the day, guys, listen. This offense is not helping us at all. It helped us last week, right? And going to the same thing, these running backs, Achan and Gordon are having a decent game for the Dolphins. Of course, Jalen Water is doing his thing. Tua is having a slightly dominant game up until this point. And the fact of the matter is, Raheem Morris and Zach Robinson does not have this offense ready to play. In fact, you can say the thing with the defense, but I'm not going to put it solely on the defense for the simple fact that we actually see that the offense not moving the ball, the offense not being productive is causing this defense to go into a real hole. So we don't know what happened. Like I said, if the Atlanta Falcons can have a great second half, they come out shooting fireworks in the second half and end up winning this football game. But the fact of the matter is, we know throughout history, when the Atlanta Falcons play this way in the first half, the second half either gets worse or it's the exact same. So with that being said, we really don't know at this point, right? We don't have a clue at this point what's going on. We know Michael Penix Jr. isn't playing. We know Drake London is out with the hip injury. Up until this point in the game, everybody who wanted Kirk Cousins back in the roster, we see what's going on with Kirk Cousins back in the lineup. There's no difference, right? Michael Penix Jr. is the starting quarterback, will be the quarterback. Do I have faith in Kirk Cousins to go out in the second half and turn this thing around for the Falcons? Maybe, possibly, who knows? But at the end of the day, and y'all may get mad at me for saying this, y'all may get upset, and I understand that. Everybody has the right to their opinion. I'm not going to say that the team is going to lose, but I'm far away from saying they're going to win. The fact of the matter is, this has to go to the head coach and the offensive play caller. Raheem Morris hired Jeff Ulbrich to be the head coach. He may very well have hired his replacement. Ulbrich may be the guy that can get this team to be where they need to be, right? Because the fact of the matter is, for sure, this team has come out the same way they did in Santa Clara last Sunday night. And this is who the Falcons have been historically. They will lose a big game and come back and play like shit a week later, right? So, like I said, at this point, of course, Tua is over 100 yards passing. I think they're over 60 yards rushing total. Of course, time of possession, they're dominating the Falcons. I think the Falcons may have only had the ball maybe, 4 offensive possessions in the first half, which is a big recipe to lose, right? So with that being said, Falcons fans, you have to understand this. We are used to this type of performance. This is not a mystery. This is not a secret. I don't know why we're acting so surprised. This is who the Atlanta Falcons are. It's to the point where the fans are literally booing them inside of the stadium. How embarrassing is that? How embarrassing is that? And once again, for everybody that said, play Kirk Cousins. We Kirk back in the lineup. We need Kirk this, Kirk that. No, we didn't need Kirk Cousins. The only reason why Kirk Cousins is starting today because Michael Penix has a legitimate injury. We can't get Bijan the ball. Let's look at the 3rd and 1 with Tyler Algier. Once again, that pistol formation, right? That same pistol formation, right, caused us to get stopped in on 3rd down. I don't know why the Atlanta Falcons choose not to go on the center. I don't understand, right? It's obvious that this pistol formation on 3rd and short, 4th and short is not the answer for the Atlanta Falcons. Right? Also, on 3rd and short yardage situation, why is Tyler Algier east and west instead of going forward? Now, some of that to me is not all on the play caller in terms of Algier trying to go left and right. But if the interior of the offensive line gets blown up, then I understand you got to go outside, right? But the fact of the matter is, the pistol set is killing us. Kirk Cousins is gonna kill the Atlanta Falcons. So my message to Falcon fans is, don't be upset. Don't be shocked, right? Don't be confused. We already know is that this is the type of team that we have under this coaching staff. And at some point, y'all, we always quick to blame the coaches. Like Dan Quinn took us to the Super Bowl. But as soon as they got bad, we blamed Dan Quinn, right? Same thing with Arthur Smith. Gave us a running game, blame Arthur Smith. At some point, the players have to take accountability as well, right? Yes, we know Raheem Morris doesn't have this team ready to play. Yes, we know we have an offensive play caller and Zach Robinson. But the players have to take accountability. The coaches cannot go on the field and play. I'm a coach myself. And don't get me wrong, coaches play the biggest role in preparing the team. Coaches play the biggest role in game planning. I'm not saying that it's not on the coaches, but at the same time, players have to take accountability as well. The offense is not playing according to whatever their standard is. And for everybody to keep saying that this team is giving up on the staff, that says a lot about these players. If you're going to give up that fast, I don't damn how good or how bad your coaching staff is. You are paid millions of dollars to perform. You are at the highest level of the game of American football. You are paid to perform. Yes, Zach Robinson is terrible. Yes, Raheem Morris doesn't have this team ready to play. Yeah, they've made mistakes, but they cannot go on the field and play the game for the players. The biggest concern for me is what type of guys do the Atlanta Falcons have? What is the mindset of guys that Arthur Blank is paying millions of dollars? You got guys making $8 million a year, guys making $20 million a year, guys making $14 million a year, guys making $10 million, and they are not producing. They are not producing. And like I said on my boy Smitty's show earlier this week, I could be wrong. I didn't have the Falcons winning this game. I did not have the Falcons. In fact, I don't even have them beating New England. I wouldn't be shocked if this team is 3-5 going into the week 10. And you know it's a week behind, week up for them because they had a bye week already. I wouldn't be shocked if the Falcons are 3-5 going into week 10. So Falcon fans, we have to be realistic. We can point the fingers all we want, right? Yes, again, for the people that just joined, we know Raheem Morris doesn't have this team ready to play. We know that Zach Robinson is making some terrible calls. But me looking in between the lines, reading the room or reading the body language, these players are not worth a damn. We got to stop putting so much criticism on the coaches. We know what the problem is with the coaches. Screw that. What about the guys that are being paid to perform? What about the guys that are being paid? Because the New York Giants are fighting with 2 rookies. Yeah, they lost in Denver last week, but they fought until the end. The Carolina Panthers, who will not even win a certain amount of games, are fighting. Yeah, they're getting beat by the Bills, but they've been fighting the season. The Dolphins are a 1-6 football team, but everybody knows when you play the Atlanta Falcons, they're going to help you beat them. Everybody that's struggling throughout the season, whatever the team is, whatever the records are, whatever the problems are, they all somehow get corrected against the Atlanta Falcons, and that team may possibly go on to a few games in a row, right? So as Falcon fans, the fact of the matter is this. The players are just as responsible as the coaches. Just as responsible as the coaches. In fact, in my opinion, they're more responsible than the coaches. Because I don't care who your coach is, which does makes a big difference. Don't get me wrong. Let me not get up here and short code or sugarcoat the game of football. Coaching is very important. But the players are not worth a damn. The coaches are not on the field blocking. The coaches are not on the field tackling. The coaches are not on the field catching passes. The coaches are not on the field missing tackles. The coaches are not on the field busting coverages. This is a player problem. And like I said before, the defense gave up 17. Okay, I understand that. But when your offense is not doing anything, it puts the defense in a bad situation. So with that being said, looking forward to the Falcons come out in the second half. You know, they've been hitting them out. They're down 17-3. Do I see them winning this game? Probably not. Looking to see them come out and fight in the second half, put something on tape for next week. Like I said, they are down 2 possessions or down 2 scores. They're getting the ball first. We'll see what happens. But that being said, The players have to play. The coaches have to keep coaching, right? With that being said, for the second half, and I'll see y'all on the post-game show.